Do stay-at-home partners doesn't matter which gender overestimate how much work they do at home? I don't think I've seen anyone say this yet either. At work you usually get weekends off a couple of days per week, annual leave, sick days. It's not usually enough IMO, but people who are caring for homes and children have to do that every day relentlessly, so it probably gets harder over time. Children change a lot, especially young children. Watching young children is a full-time job. One thing you'll mention that has only sort of been touched on so far: when you're by yourself, every task that must be done is your own. You know about the laundry to be done because you wore those clothes. You know about the dishes to be done because you made them. And the impact of not doing them affects only yourself, so you can easily weigh how badly you need to do them. Managing the to-do list is not as onerous. Adding in other people, especially kids, not only makes each task X times more work, but it creates unknown tasks that suddenly pop up that you didn't even know about, and suddenly have to deal with. And it feels much more psychologically draining to deal with a problem you didn't create. Stay-at-home partners don't overestimate work, especially with kids. Each age is tricky in different ways. Currently a stay-at-home mom with a soon-to-be 5-month-old. Got 2 hours of sleep last night and a 30-minute nap during the day. Had to cook, do laundry, clean, make time to eat myself and feed my baby. I have the worst headache and will have to do it all over again and again. I don't really go anywhere anymore either. I have to rush my showers in case she wakes up screaming. And sometimes my food sits out for 2 hours before I can take a bite. Of course this is currently this age right now. But then toddler is suicide watch age. And the worst is having to take care of a sick child while you're sick yourself. Going to my job was much easier than this. And I would sometimes work way longer hours than needed. We've got land, a few cows, and an expanding veg garden orchard. If I wasn't working I could definitely busy myself full-time. I suspect this isn't most people's setups. But yes, without kids I've never needed a partner at home to cope with maintaining the household. Also way less work when I was single. Every partner I've had helps in some ways, but creates work in other ways. With kids I imagine it's Sisyphean. As soon as you've cleaned or tidied or fed them it's messy again, or they need more food, or now they need a bath. It's bad enough living with adult humans, let alone small ones. Kids need you to be there all the time. You don't really get any time to yourself unless someone looks after the kids. Even when they are asleep you need to be there. You can't just leave them alone. It's the kids that are making the difference. Wow, this really caught on. Thanks everyone. Here are my conclusions. Not only is it the constant work without breaks, but it's that you must be watching 247, especially at age 1-4. Even when you're trying to cook, clean, shower yourself, you must always have an eye on them. This sounds exhausting. Cleaning your own messes is much easier than cleaning others. So living with you may or may not contribute to the household. But a child 100 adds more. More than one person, usually 2x more. Unlike with a job with weekends off, kids again require 247 time. You have no schedule. I'm definitely more sympathetic to my friend after reading these. So much so that I don't want to have kids now unless I can afford a live-in nanny or something like this. I'm only half joking. Thanks. You're being insensitive. Staying at home with young children is beyond full-time work. It's being on duty 16-24 each day depending on the kids' sleep. If you're lucky there's all full sleep and you have a couple hours to be yourself at the end of the day, but that time is probably spent doing chores. That's what I did. Catch up on cleaning, laundry, making lunches for the next day. Being a parent isn't even just about physical chores. That's the easy part. The hard part is being emotional, stable, and available. Children self-don't-regulate. They don't know consideration, or etiquette, or politeness. They are hedonistic narcissists that need unconditional love, patience, and guidance. Being a good parent is incredibly draining. More than you can possibly imagine unless you've been there yourself. If the kids are 0-4 and at home, then yes, being a full-time stay-at-home parent is a full-time, exhausting job. If the kids are older and in school, this makes a huge difference. Taking care of kids is hard, but if those kids are K-12 and in school 8-3, he has plenty of time off. 0-4 is a little harder. There is one of you. Add one more person, that's twice the work. Add in another person, that's 3x the work. Add another person, you catch my drift, I'm sure. I fantasize about days where I come from work to find a mess and realize it's from me. That never happens. Shit, I get lectured if there are 3 ice cubes left in the tray, but say nary a peep when I come home from work and have to load other people's dishes. Okay, that's a lie. I say many peeps at least 50 of the time when that happens. It's not only the cleaning though, it's the mental load. If you are a SOP, you are expected to run the household. Make sure apps are kept, do all the shopping, make sure the bills are paid on time, yard work, vet apps, school projects, etc. The list is truly endless. I work now, but I was a SOP for 8 years. In all honesty, I still do 90 of the mental load and it's slowly breaking me down. It's definitely not easy to be the person who gets delegated the bulk of the responsibilities. Ah, the old kids aren't that much work trope. Kids are a 247 full-time job. And being a stay-at-home parent is the hardest and most important job in the world. Why do you think so many people are child-free? I was a SOD for about 1 year. I managed the entire household and all of the animal care and childcare. My partner paid for everything. Growing up, I was the only one out of myself and my siblings to really take to domestic chores. I found joy in cleaning and keeping things organized, not obsessively so. I'm sure if you looked hard enough you'd have seen areas that I forgot to clean. It also helped that I trained as a chef and was taught from day one the clean as you go method, and that just amplified my already domestically competent nature. Due to all of the above factors, I found that being a SOD was one of the easiest things I have ever done. I've always been good with kids, and due to my very minor ADHD, I tend to have a lot of kid-like energy. That being said, when I went back to work and I had to leave some of the housework to my partner again, I would regularly come home to find her stressing out about what seemed like basic work to me. When you can do it, being a SAH person is easy. It's when you become one thinking that it's going to be easy, but if you can't micromanage your time is when it becomes damn near impossible. Yes, the parenting childcare is the exhausting part. But even if it was just the cleaning a home when you are gone at work 40-50 hours a week is way different than cleaning a home when there is someone there living in it and using it all day, and far different again than cleaning up after kids. It's not like a stay-at-home parent swoops into your pristine, unlived-in home and runs a Swiffer over everything before going back to their life of leisure. They have a lot of ongoing tasks to handle because of the fact they are home, cooking, etc. You are boasting about your very irrelevant experience. You never had a child, let alone 2. Yet you are just extrapolating from your unrelated position. Parenting is a whole other beast. Take your friend's words in that regard, unless you have a relevant experience to argue differently. Yes and no. Preschool kids requires a lot, and you usually get to little and bad sleep. But as soon as kids are in school, your math works out, if everyone pitches in and do their part. So I do think many people saying it is a full-time or more type of job either has toddlers, embellish their efforts, or are very unorganized people. Cleaning up after only yourself is a lot different than cleaning up after 3 people. And often the case with SOP is the working parent usually doesn't clean up after themselves. That's why SOMs often burn out. I live in a 3BR by myself and have 1 pet. No kids. My friend who is a man is a stay-at-home dad, no job with 2 children. There's your answer.